Bitch, you're gonna confuse me. See, Gio from the future is confused right now. I'm not confused right now. I am tripping. Anyways.
You're already Gio. You already you already are Gio from the future.
I know.
Oh my god.
Gio from the future. Hello. This is episode 11. Episode 10 came out today. Today is June 3rd. This is for Geo editing because I always have to check the date on the recording because when I edit, I forget what the date is. It's June 3rd, Geo. I love you.
Fix your posture right now.
Fix your posture right now, Giovanni. Not last name because that's incriminating. Because I'm. Hi. Welcome. Welcome to the 11th episode of the podcast. We're now double digits.
Podcast.
We're now officially double digits.
Double digits plus one. Yeah.
How do you feel?
How do I feel? You know exactly how I feel right now.
Right now. How do you feel?
Right now, I feel like I'm trapped inside of my body.
That's not a real laugh.
It was. It was.
Okay. I want to summarize. I guess what's been going on. Okay. How's May been? How's May been for you?
Well, I got back from Vipassana. You know, my meditation.
Damn, that was in May.
Yeah, that was May.
Jesus Christ.
I went on the 1st, got back on the 12th, and then ever since. My mind has been more mindful, I guess.
That's
like literally, like every single day, I'm like, wow, is this really how I am? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're just reflecting all the time, huh? You're just
basically.
You're just always in a state of taking shit in.
Yeah, and like I've been more like as I'm doing something, I'll be aware of myself doing it. Yeah. Whether it's like eating or like responding to a sentence. Sentence question.
I mean, a question is a sentence.
Yeah.
But I guess you're just more self-conscious is usually used in a negative way, but you're more self-conscious.
Yeah,
you're like if you're wasting time, you'll be aware that you're wasting time.
And this month, I think I've followed my morning routine more diligently.
Yeah.
I've been hitting it like I told you, like 4 out of 7 days.
Is it still the same? Has it been updated?
Same. Yeah, it's relatively the same. I added some animal flow in there.
What's that? I did not hear you when you explained it to Ryan earlier.
Oh.
And also the people.
Hey, you kind of have to see it to understand what it is, but it's like a mix of yoga and plyometrics.
Oh, so it's just movement?
It's movement,
right, stretching and all that shit?
Yeah, it's not stretching. It's like, I mean, kind of is. You can incorporate it, but it's more like controlling your body, doing like just weird shit. But it's like, it's very functional movement. Like you'll use it if you're about to like die, if you're climbing a fence, if you're climbing a large rock that is the mountain of life. That was just nonsense. I meant like a real mountain.
That was
rocks.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it was. Sorry about that.
So you've been hitting 4 out of 7?
Yeah, usually 4 out of 7 days a week.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I like fell out of routine. Actually, what else have you been doing?
Well, working on my campaign with no name. It's finally out.
Finally fucking out. Like 2 weeks late.
I'm so stupid, bro. So lazy and stupid.
Why did it take so long? I feel like it's a mix of laziness and stress, but laziness that came from stress.
Yeah, I wouldn't even like. I've been working on it. It's just I was too careful most of the time.
Perfectionism.
Perfectionism.
You let the perfectionism get to you, kind of thing.
I mean, now the website's pretty nice. Like, right? Is it?
Yeah. As long as you think it's nice, bro.
I like it.
I like it too.
But yeah.
Mainly because I helped construct it a bit. Yeah. Just a little bit.
A little bit. A little bit.
Yeah.
A lot of little bits.
I mean, it's been like a long time though. Like, I was going to say, what's the process been like getting up to this point in like the first release? Has it been really random, like you buy something, you're like, hey, let me customize this?
Honestly, it's like,
and then eventually
it's literally like I buy something I like and I'll wear that plainly from like 1 or 2 times. I'll be like, no, this is too boring. I'll work on it. It becomes a brand new piece. And then I get bored of that. And I put it on sale, basically. Well, yeah, I'll always wear something that I make.
Makes sense.
Like I'll only make it because I like to wear it.
Yeah. It's the selfish part before it becomes selfless, right? Before delivering it out. That's good. So how do you feel now that it's like basically it's tomorrow, right? Tomorrow from the time of recording, so June 4th. How does that feel?
It doesn't feel like anything. Honestly, it's not like it's nothing special really.
Because me, the first Doja drop, I was nervous as shit. Like but I'm that type of person, bro. Like when it first dropped, I went to Google Analytics because you can associate it with your website.
Don't you have to pay for that?
Nope. Really? And it shows you real time. Like so, if when people come in to the website, it'll show you that there's someone active right now. So I put that on, and then the drop was at 12. At 12, I just sat there on my chair, like
fucking anxiety, right
like
there.
this, and I was just looking for like 30 minutes, just seeing where everyone was going. I'm like, and then I get a notification on my phone from Wix like, congrats, you got a new order. And I'm like, hey, nice. And then it was very, very nerve wracking. Every drop's like that for me. To me, it feels like I'm just letting. It feels vulnerable when you're letting, because you just.
I mean, that makes sense because it's all your work. That you finally put out.
You're finally putting it out to be judged by the people, because when it's out, it's like out of your control. People can say what they want. I started the promo
today, right? And it feels kind of good. Just
it feels
finally putting it out. And
it's like stress, but it's like good stress. Like finally.
I've got some feedback too. People are like, it's sick. Okay. Very nice. Finally.
External approval.
Yeah, external approval. Fucking dopamine, you know.
Other than that, what's new? You're still reading that same book?
Yeah, Morphic Resonance. Yeah, I've been slacking on reading, but picking up on it now.
How much are you reading every day?
Yesterday I read morning and night. Oh no, that was 2 days ago. Yesterday I didn't read at all.
SMH.
Yeah, I'll read tonight.
How much do you usually read?
I'll read like.
Is it like consistent?
Yeah, if I read, I'll read for like 15, 20 pages.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've gone. Well, the reason why I read so fast is actually because I bus. I work 5 days a week and I bus twice a day, so to work and from work, and that's an hour.
Well, that's also one thing I've noticed is, like, just during my commute or like just when I'll be doing shit, I don't listen to music or no podcast. I'm just in silence now.
You just sit, just probably just listen to, because there's a lot you can.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very interesting if you sit on a bus and you try to listen into the conversations going on. Like,
or even just the noises that the bus is creating.
Yeah, just noises. This morning, my bus, I was listening to a podcast, but I could still hear it. My bus was making, I guess the brakes are just fucking shit. And every time it would brake, it would make like this weird like noise. I'm like, oh my God. But like, if you're just to me, it became funny after a while, because I'm like, what could the other people be thinking? Like, do they get worried?
They're probably, it does that noise? Oh, okay. So it was like a worrying, like, it's a noise that's kind of not normal.
Well, I wouldn't say it's worrying. I'd just say it's loud. It's noticeable.
Okay.
Like, you'll notice it if you're in the bus. It's not like a subtle noise. Like,
because you probably noticed it because you were trying to focus on something else.
No, because with my headphones on, listening to a podcast, like listening.
Right, that's what I mean. Like, you're trying to listen to the podcast, but you can still hear.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. You can hear the distractions. Yeah. It's easier to hear distractions if you're trying to not to hear them, I guess. I don't even know what's me even like. Did you have a monthly plan for May?
Sort of. Like, really, like, basically release the lookbook campaign collection, all that, and then I had a few shows coming up in June. I was supposed to work on that, like, just start.
What do you mean shows?
Like art shows, just like events. It got canceled because the event, like the place, they had to move out, so we have to find a new place.
You should do that. You should set up a pop-up shop.
Well, we're doing it for the dojo one, right? Ataraxy Gathering.
Yeah, I have to figure it out.
Why'd I say dojo?
I don't want to.
Reading your shirt.
Cause me. Cause we. Okay, what time is this coming out? Today's June 3rd, so June 10th.
10th.
Okay. In about 5 days, Dojo's gonna have a drop. It's probably the first drop in like probably a month.
June 15th.
June 15th, I think, Saturday. I think that's a Saturday. It doesn't matter. Yeah. I think that's a Saturday. It's gonna be I'm putting some shit out. I don't know what it is yet, but I'll figure it out.
You don't know yet?
No, I have ideas. I like to set a deadline before I actually start working, because
do you have like is it going to be merch, or do you have an idea of what it will be?
I have an
do
idea.
you have an idea of what you want it?
Yeah, I have an
to be?
idea. I won't say. I actually need your help to shoot the
Okay.
promo for it. I see the promo image in my head, and that's all I see. What else? This month, I don't know. This month was pretty interesting.
You're not dropping a song?
The song was supposed to drop tomorrow, same time your shit would drop, but maybe God, if God exists, it's just
You mean
decided to say, just decided to like, man, Seam Reaper needs some shine. So
So hold
my
back.
thing got delayed. So I think it's coming out this Saturday. That's why I don't even need to announce it. Well, I guess the song's out by now. I think it should be out this Saturday that we're recording this, so June 8th. So it's out if you want to listen, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. The thing that's been going on right now is it's not necessarily negative. It's just that days are like, whoosh.
Like you kind of just going through the motions almost.
like, yeah. It's more like, oh shit, that was 4 days ago. Oh shit, that was
Yeah, someone will do that to you. Like if you're not in school, that's
yeah,
gonna
maybe
happen.
that's why. Like I'll be like, yo, that was yesterday. Like, you know how I fell off routines. Like the way I think most of me, I would like start my days would be my alarm goes off and I just reach for my phone. As soon as I wake up, I reach for my phone and I just get on and I just check everything. So email. I'm obsessive, so like I'll check my my artist pages to see how the songs are doing. So Paris and SS1 and all that, I'll check that, and then I'll check Twitter and Instagram, and then I get out of bed and I shower if I wanna. So I guess there's just a lot of self-loathing that goes into that because I'm at a point of self-awareness where I cannot like just lie to myself anymore. So if I'm lacking, I'll be like, bro, you're lacking. So I was like, okay, I should probably like form a new, a routine and like follow it. So I have this new routine. I didn't want to say it because I feel like saying it gives you the satisfaction, and it encourages you not to follow it because you get that
I
satisfaction.
think you've already
But
done it.
just for the sake of the podcast, I'll say it. It's just I'll wake up, brush my teeth. I would like to wake up and do Wim Hof, but the fact that I have to smell my morning breath over and over again would really bother me. So I just wake up, I go brush my teeth, go back in bed, do the Wim Hof 3 cycles or 4, depending on how much time I have, and then I only did it once so far. I know it's gonna be a very big challenge eventually, like as I go through the month. I went for a jog, my first jog in like years, like my nigga, like years. I don't think have I ever gone on a like. I think that's like my first like voluntary jog
Voluntary.
I've been to, where it's like no one asked me to come along, no one blah. I just woke up. I was like, all right, yeah, I should try that because you've been talking to me about that. So I was like, I should probably try it just to see. And I went jogging.
How'd it go?
I went jogging for 10 minutes. I'd say
Nasal, right?
yeah, nasal. I try to keep it nasal. I got challenging after a while when you start getting tired. I think it's just I don't even think it's necessarily your body telling you to do it. I think it's just a habit that we've never been told to breathe specifically through our noses when we run, just through like basic high school like cardio training.
Yeah.
It's just run. That's all they tell you. Just run and get better at it for as long as
Which
you can.
is so fucked. Teach proper mechanics. I mean, they probably don't even know either.
Yeah.
So I can't even blame them.
So it's like automatically you just want to open your mouth when
Yeah.
you're tired. And just breathe through your mouth. But I tried breathing through my nose. I'd say 5 because like I use the Nike Run Club. It's like an app. It tracks how long you travel and all that shit, and it tells you when to stop. And it told me halfway through because I went for 11 minutes just for the 1 minute of setting up. Halfway through was like 5 minutes and 30 seconds left. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, God damn it. Because, bro, like 5 minutes into it, at first it felt great. It was like a cloudy morning, so it's not too hot.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
cool.
hot, and it's like very cool. So like you go out with like a long sleeve, you're chilling. So I go out, I'm like chilling, I'm like running. I'm like, this feels nice, this is nice. You can look around. It kind of acts as a walk because you're just like looking around. If you want to be mindful,
I feel way better right now.
Oh well.
Mine smell pretty good. Mine smell like laundry socks.
You gonna smell mine?
Yeah. Mine smell pretty decent. It's like good bad.
Yeah, yours smell like your house. Smells like
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, bro, that's tight. Fuck Nike, but
We have the exact same shoes in black
yeah.
and white.
That's why I put mine up. I'm like, it's kind of symmetrical, and this feels free.
Yeah, way better. Oh.
Anyways,
Take your shoes off right now.
bro,
Alice is looking at us.
Walking around the house barefoot is fucking fire.
You don't walk around the what?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, who the fuck keeps
Like,
their socks
yeah,
on
that's weird.
in the house?
Or his shoes. even.
Unless she's coming over, because I'm ashamed of my toes, so I just...
Weirdo.
I don't wear my shoes indoors because that's dirty, but I wear my socks.
That's lame. Lame.
Well, what I know
We
from
have really cold floors. so
Shame.
walk around, especially in the
'Cause it
winter,
feels
and
good.
The fact that you live in a basement,
Cold
you know
exposure.
the floors are freezing.
Cold exposure.
is it just in movies or like do white people wear shoes in their house?
Bro, this stinks. Holy shit, man. Never
I don't even
mind.
smell that.
I can smell it. It's so annoying. Sorry, guys. I have stink feet. I hope you can smell it through the camera.
Fuck. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I
Through the mic.
interrupted you.
Bro, this is nice.
Why is that something you're like announcing to the world that you have stink feet? Like, why is that something that everyone needs to know?
Because it's relevant
No, it's not. Like
to this
not-
pocket in time right now.
Yeah, right now it's relevant. I can smell it. Nigga. Anyways.
Sorry, your morning run.
Where was I?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah. You're saying like your
I got-
your time.
I got tired, and then I think at like the 9th minute,
Oh, you got tired.
the 9th minute is like a minute left, and I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
And then when I started walking, because I decided to just take a walk, so you know how there's like a park. They don't know, but you know how there's like a park, like.
I don't know either.
Anyways, I just went around the block for like 10 minutes and did a 10-minute
Okay.
walk after the 10-minute jog. So I just walked the rest, and like for I guess the first like 20% of the walk, I felt like I was gonna pass out.
Isn't that weird how like, cause me I don't go from a countdown. I just time it. So whenever I stop, I stop.
Mm-hmm.
But I usually have like a route which is perfectly like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But when we do count down, it's like we become incrementally challenged. It's like 10,
Yeah, you
9,
get attached to it.
8, 7. It's like it's just shitty. Like
You get attached to it. All you're waiting for is a zero.
because you crave for that zero.
Yeah, you crave, bro. I was like, oh my god, please. I was like, please stop. But afterwards, after that jog, I just worked
Wait,
out.
1 sec. After like you were nasal the whole jog, right?
Most of it.
Were you
like I would fall
were you
out
panting? Were you panting?
No.
At the end?
of no. I was like,
Okay. Because if you were mouth breathing, then you would have been panting,
which is like.
which is like just being tired.
No.
Yeah.
I think my breath
You-
was pretty normal. Like
Yes, Allah.
Question. How do you run and breathe through your nose? Like, I'm trying
you see,
Like, no.
that's what
Can
they do.
can they hear us? Can they hear her?
No, I hear it.
genuine question because I've like ran before and I don't think I've ever been able to like I've obviously been able to like in increments breathe through my nose, especially if I'm like running steady. But let's say like because I also have a deviated septum, so it's hard, and so then I resort to like breathing through my mouth because I'm now hyperventilating at this point.
'Cause you-
How do you run without breathing through?
Just
your mouth?
don't go
I mean,
fast. Like
yeah, sorry.
don't go faster than you can. Like just sustain
Yeah.
a pace that
But
you
even
can.
that whole long period of time, like if you're running like let's say half an hour, aren't you gonna resort to like?
I
Well,
think
no. If you're running
Well,
for half an hour,
yeah,
you shouldn't be running for half an hour if you can't sustain it while you're nose breathing. Go for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think it's good for you at a certain point.
Go for
Yeah.
5 minutes, 10 minutes.
So what's
Just
the
work your way up.
Yeah.
What's
but
the
Miss
science
Hermetic.
behind not needing to, or like you shouldn't?
well, breathing through your mouth is just not good for you in
Yeah,
general.
because when you're exercising and you breathe through your mouth, what happens is you actually lose the water in your body. Because what happens when you go into a glass, you see you see moisture, right?
Yeah, moisture.
That's you losing water.
Vapor and whatever.
So what happens is you actually start to cramp. More chances of you cramping because your muscles lose like water. So if you breathe through your nose, 1, you won't cramp as hard. Number 2, it's better for longevity. So if you're actually exercising, like if you're actually playing a game, your lungs will be able to sustain like high intensity like for longer because your body's gonna think that, oh, like I've already gone long enough with less oxygen breathing through your nose. I can do this but with breathing through my mouth. Like I can sustain it for longer. It's not as difficult.
Do you play soccer while breathing through your nose?
Only practices. Like if it's during games, I'll try to like if I'm aware of it, I'll try to do it. But most of the time, I'm too tired. Like I don't have enough concentration power to actually.
So even for you, it's like something that's like it's not unconscious yet. Like it's
Yeah.
you have to remember manually.
Because we're not taught to run.
Yeah. I mean, while I jog, during my jogs, it's become sort of unconscious now. Like I can do it because I've done it for like a month now. But even like the first 2 jogs, it's like I breathe through my mouth and like no, don't stop. But what helps with that is like just jog with water in your mouth and just keep it
with something in your mouth.
What I do is a coconut pull. So you know what the pull does, right?
You probably should anyways explain.
Okay, so coconut pull is basically you just leave coconut oil in your mouth for like 10-20 minutes, and what that does is it's like basically marinating your mouth to get the toxins out.
And isn't it good for your teeth and breath?
Yeah, teeth, breath, all that. Because you can't get it out with water because water is just water, right? Oils they go deeper into the pores.
They have shit in it.
Yeah, it's complicated, right? Oils are complicated stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy how many fucking benefits fucking just oils. Like there's an oil for everything, nigga. There's oil for fucking hair growth, oil for fucking beard growth, oil for fucking.
And the trippy thing is like,
god damn.
Trippy thing is you can use coconut oil for hair growth.
So a lot of oils.
Pulling, you can use it for food too.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many uses to just one type of oil.
Man, I just got a picture in my head where the coconut ended up melting in your mouth and you swallowed it by accident and started choking.
I almost did that once. No, what
Yeah,
actually?
I feel like that's why you end up getting forced to breathe.
What
through
I
your
what I
nose.
In your mouth, aren't you like doesn't it like almost by habit you start swallowing?
No, because you already know you don't want to swallow it. You know it
and
tastes
I don't like fill my mouth with it, just a little bit. So like it's not like my cheeks are out. It's
Yeah,
just
you
like,
could still look normal with your mouth closed.
Yeah.
I
Interesting.
did not know any of this.
But yeah, I tried to do that sometimes like my body started telling me like just breathe through your mouth. Sometimes I would breathe in through my nose and then breathe out through my mouth just to give it that satisfaction and then go back to breathing through my nose. But other than that, after I was tired, so then I just walked back home. By the time the walk was done, I was pretty like normal again. So I worked out. I've been very into like just because I know you don't necessarily need weights. Body weight exercise is like way good enough if you want to start.
It's low-key harder.
And and you don't want to because you're lifting your own weight. Like you can't like dumb it down.
And it's super functional.
Yeah,
like
you can't.
It's only functional.
You can't dumb it down at all, and it works like your body, you know, because you're training it. You're
it's
not
internal tension.
and it's very compound too. So you're not only working one muscle. Like push-ups work most of your upper body, right?
Get that proprioception, yeah.
Yeah. So I do. I wanted to do 100 because One Punch Man, like the training and all that. I know it's too much. It's excessive.
That's too much.
Probably not even good for you at a certain point. It's probably
not in the beginning.
Unless you're already trained to the point where you can handle that. But I dumbed it down to 50 push-ups. So 5 sets of 10 reps, and then 20 crunches because that's pretty easy. 5 sets of that, and then 5 sets of 10 squats, and then that's it. And then afterwards, I take a cold shower, and then I meditate for like 10 to 15 to 20 minutes, and then I read, and I eat. I try to make it as long as it can without feeling like hungry before I eat, because now I'm trying fasting too, and I did my first fast yesterday, and it was a 15.
You just started?
Well, restarted. Around like August of last year, I was doing the time restricted fasting too. I was doing like 10 hours. Because I was too much of a pussy to like be hungry and stay hungry. I deal so badly with just being hungry. My first reaction is just fucking put something in your mouth, and it's so annoying. And I'm trying to like dumb that down. So I'm just trying to do like 10 to 12 to 9 window where I can.
That's
eat.
a good way to start.
Yeah, 12 to 9, and then at 9 I just. Like, it's already nighttime. You're getting set. It's probably not even healthy to eat around that time anyways at that point because you're going to sleep soon. Unless you're going to sleep later, then I guess you can because that's your sleep cycle. But I did that. It only felt like shit this morning around, like, the last 2 hours.
Before you started eating?
Because I had coffee. Like, I had coffee before work. That's like nothing. It's just coffee. It's just, and it was like straight too. No sugar,
Okay.
no milk, just straight coffee. Because I know that's what they say is
You
the
know,
best option
there's a
if you're
trick.
fasting.
There's a trick as well. If you want to maintain the longevity of the caffeine, put butter, or
In the
any type of fat. So what
Huh.
that does is, and mix it up. So what that does is, our body is very good at holding onto fats. That's why we get fat.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So basically your body can hold on to it longer and it distributes it over a period
That's
of time.
Very, very important information you just gave me. Because my issue with coffee, and I'm gonna do research on it, and I probably want to discuss it afterwards because I know there's probably like 90% of people who listen to it either have like drinking coffee before. She's drinking coffee right now. Either they've had coffee before, or they have
Or it's their
coffee
fifth of the
regularly,
day.
or they're just having 5. I want to figure out how to get the most out of 1 cup, because my thing is, I told myself I would never pass 1 cup. Like even if my tolerance builds to it, like I will never pass 1 cup. So now I want to figure out how to optimize that 1 cup. The ideal
That's the
port.
way.
I don't think the 1 cup is the ideal. I think there's like the milligrams that I want to figure out. What's the max milligram they recommend a day for an adult or someone my age, and then just because a way people are suggesting to do it is to ration it out. So don't take it all at once. Take it in intervals. So let's say you just take a bit, like let's say
That's what the butter is doing.
Yeah, let's say you take, I don't know, whatever milligram it is, you divide it by whatever, and then you put it, let's say you put all of it all in 1 cup, and then you just drink like a portion of that cup every time. Or you know, in the big coffee pot, in the coffee pot, you make your daily quantity. Let's say you're staying home all day, you make the max quantity you're supposed to take, and then you just take like a cup, a portion in your cup every like 2 hours or something. So because the crash is my issue with the coffee. Like around, I did a 9 to 2 today, so I took coffee at around like 7. Around 2, I'm crashing.
Right.
Like at the end of the shift.
Yeah, you were
like,
saying how you were
at the end
tired.
of the shift, I just feel it all just weighing down.
Jeez.
I used to think it was depression, but it just it could be. But it's just bro. Like when that shit hits, like it's like holy shit, everything is shit. I just want to go to sleep and not do anything. As I'm fucking like hate everything.
Yeah.
It's like
Just want the day to end.
yeah. So I don't like. I know that feeling now, and I anticipate it. So I'm just able to just deal with it when it comes. If I didn't tell you I was tired, you probably wouldn't know. But yeah, that's like the routine right now. I did it yesterday and today. Today I did it without the jogging because I didn't have time. I already like woke up 50 minutes earlier than I'm supposed to just have time to do everything.
Jeez.
But it feels great. It substitute the 50 minutes of sleep
Yeah.
because you feel so awake after all the exercise and the cold showering and
I feel like you gain time.
you're fasting too. Yeah, and you gain I gained so much time from just not eating breakfast because I'm just like I just coffee and I'm out. So that was cool.
You know where it actually comes from? The butter in your coffee.
What?
It comes from the Tibetans.
Of
They
course.
used to.
It's always
right?
niggas that like no one cares about. That just figure shit out and niggas just use it.
And I think they use like a butter churner, and just like they didn't have any science. They just did it because it worked,
That's so interesting.
just because it felt good.
That's so interesting. I wanted to talk about Sapiens. This is the books. Are you reading this or you
No, I
just get it?
just got it today.
Is that Carl Jung?
Yeah.
Say word. This is what we're reading right now. I thought that'd be cool to add since this whole thing is about spreading whatever dumb shit we're
Info
learning
knowledge.
as stupid 19 to 21 year olds.
Knowledge formation.
And
Knowledge
then I'm reading
formation.
this. Okay, audio people. He's reading The Secret of the
I haven't
Golden
even
Flower.
started it yet. I'm not gonna start it until I finish Morphic Resonance.
He's reading Morphic Resonance, but he just got The Secret of the Golden Flower, which is, I don't know what it's about. You don't need to say.
I don't even know.
You just look cool, huh?
Yeah.
And I'm reading this.
Ryan gave it to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So it's probably some cool shit. And he's reading the 7 Habits of Highly Effective. I'm reading 7 Habits of. I mean, you're me. I'm reading the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I read it at like 17 or 16, I think, and I stopped reading like I think 30% of the way through. I guess it just wasn't the time because now I restarted reading it, and it's like
Everything makes sense.
it's like.
Yeah.
Yo. It's like, damn. I just finished Sapiens. I got Homo Deus, but I want to read it with you. So I'm just going to wait.
Yeah.
But please finish perfect resonance like in the next 2 weeks.
I'll be done like within June, 100%.
Good. Bro, okay, real quick. I want to dedicate an entire episode. Oh, we're only like 30 minutes in. Okay, cool. I want to dedicate an entire episode to this eventually when we like figure it out fully. Because we kind of say it as a joke, but like we're kind of dead ass.
Yeah.
Okay, to preface it, one thing we've been talking a lot about, just from reading Sapiens actually, because I think Sapiens ends with the author making, I guess, he just talks about how everything is speeding past like our own biological evolution. So everything is evolving past our own biology.
Right.
So the way we were when we were like in our primitive like stones and fire
So basically,
like stages.
the outside world is evolving faster than our bodies can evolve.
Than our own biology and like inner selves are. And that's probably a bad thing. Some people want to see it as a good thing because they're optimists.
A lot of research shows that like depression. Look at the rates of depression, anxiety, all that.
Yeah, that's one chapter he dedicates to that. The 20th, I think, it's called, and they lived happily ever after. He's saying there is no correlation between all of the evolutions we've been going through and happiness. Like all we're focusing on is acquiring more power, but as much power as we've acquired over those hundreds and thousands of years, happiness is not moved. And isn't that like? I mean, we've spoken about happiness already because I feel like happiness is a very tricky. It's more complex, but also simple. But it's also complex because it's simple.
Yeah.
It's such a complex thing because
there's layers.
Because we know that going for happiness, having that as a goal is probably not the best idea because what you find out is that you're going to end up where you started no matter what. Right? And it's like happiness is really just the stopping of the chase of happiness. It's like stopping, like you only like content and like happy in life once you stop chasing happiness. That's what I found. Like once I stopped making it a thing, like buying this will make me happy, buying that will make me happy. Blah, blah, blah. Once you get over that, I feel like you get
when you stop searching for it. When you stop searching for it, because the search means you don't already have it.
I don't think happiness is what people should chase. I think peace is what people should chase. Not necessarily like, I don't know if outer peace is even possible, because one thing he said is there's no such thing as like real absolute peace with no war. This is the most peaceful time we've ever lived in, but there's still wars going on. The only I can't remember fully the actual quote, but the only like real war would be like the real war that we would say would be like the opposite of the peaceful time that we're in would be the war that would probably end us, because the reason why we're so peaceful is because the next war will probably like end us. The next worldwide, like the entire planet is at war.
Nuclear power.
Yeah, that will.
All this technology.
Yeah.
Literally, like there's probably cameras the size of fleas.
Yo, dead ass.
Spying on us.
Yeah, he mentions it in the last chapter of Sapiens.
Really?
There's like they're working on fixing and making bionic insects, where they could just put tiny cameras in it for just spying purposes. So it's like you just like, let's say the enemy is just having secret conversations. A little fly flies in. No one cares. It's just another fly, but that fly is actually just a whole spy.
But they're probably gonna have countermeasures to that, like just
and that's the thing, right? Where every great invention is probably gonna be a downside or its counter thing. It's like with social media, such a great invention. There's like the big problem of how the fuck do you use it properly, you know? But I don't want to. We talked about social media so fucking much. You get the point. Everyone knows. They just don't. Everyone knows, bro. Everyone has the knowledge. Just don't do the actions. Fucking what was like and it's like there's gonna be new moral and ethical discussions as we proceed, because like, bro, we're starting to be able to manipulate like DNA, lifespan. Like you've watched Altered Carbon.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's not even too far off. I don't feel like that's like crazy science fiction. That's like coming.
Like I think like the only thing, and this is bro science. The only thing that humans have not been able to grasp is consciousness. to actually put it in a box.
And that's why altered carbon works, because it's like the one
Right.
thing that where it's like we don't even know how it works. So and then that in that reality, it would
Right.
assume that
They can do whatever.
just so anyone
there's no
knows,
rules.
everyone, if you're into science fiction, if you're into Blade Runner, or just like cyberpunk or like science fiction shit, please go watch Altered Carbon. It's a Netflix
On
exclusive. Netflix exclusive, so it's already on there. I think the episodes are around 40 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
And there's like probably 9
9
or
of them,
10. It's just about this reality in which this future hypothetical reality in which basically people's consciousness can be put in a little stack that's
Right.
around the size of my palm here.
Which is then distributed to a physical body's central nervous system.
Yeah. And the bodies just lose their values.
Yeah,
at that
bodies
point.
lose their values. Like literally, men are in a woman's body, babies are in, you know, blah blah blah.
And when you go to jail, they don't necessarily put you in jail.
Right,
They put your stack in
because
jail.
you don't die.
Yeah, you're just in
Your
the
consciousness,
darkness.
yeah, your body dies.
Yeah.
But your consciousness remains.
So the punishment they give you is it becomes a whole like hierarchy thing, right? Poor people get shitty stacks of
Yeah.
like old people, but sick bodies and just like ugly bodies, and then the rich get whatever they want.
Right.
They could like literally like create
All
perfect
the,
bodies.
all the material pleasures.
So
of the
so
world.
it just makes you question. I guess on the philosophical side, if you want to see it that way. If you don't, you can just watch it for the fun of it.
Right.
But on the philosophical side, it's just like, how are we gonna deal with that once because if that technology starts existing, it's obviously gonna be pricey at first.
Yeah.
And of course, if it's pricey, only the higher ups will be
Right.
able to get the best versions of it, right? And the lower ones will get the shitty versions. So it's like, how does that work once you get to that point?
And it's so funny because the people with the power, the people with all the money, and they can access, like they have access to the best bodies, all that.
They're still miserable.
unlimited consciousness. They're the most miserable.
They're the most miserable. It is, yeah, dude. And that's what
and
I'm telling
like
you.
how do we stop that? Like it has to be now, bro.
I think,
Like,
and that's what I mean. That's what I'm telling you. We need this revolution, is because our bodies are still wired to seek novelty. That's our own. That's the literal reason why we're still in that loop and that cycle, is because
bro, isn't that what religion is trying to like do? Like just, or religion or any spiritual practice, like like you don't need this new thing.
Yeah, that's what.
you
Okay,
are
I
enough.
thought you were gonna say it in like to dumb down religion, but that's what religion says. Any religion, that's all they say.
Yeah.
You don't need everything. All you need is God.
Right.
All you need, yeah.
Everything
and
you
you
need,
can interpret
you
that
already
however
have.
you want, but all you need is already. And that's what I was telling you. I don't know if I said it on a podcast or if it was just a conversation offline. But when I tell you, like, we're born on this planet, the fact that we're a product of this planet means that everything we need is already on this planet. Like, take all those buildings, technology, laptops, mics, cameras away. All we need is already like here. Like you want to eat. There's like, fucking. You want to kill animals, kill them. You don't want to kill animals, but you still need protein. There's nuts. There's fucking
Plants,
spinach.
all that.
All of that fucking shit. Like you need iron. You got spinach. You need fucking tomatoes. You got all. It's all here
Right.
already. We have psychedelics, nigga, that grow off the ground. We have
Make you
goddamn-
think, like literally make new neural connections
exactly
in your computer.
and that grows. You have weed, nigga. You have all that shit. That shit's already here. Like medicine, everything you need is already here. So everything else is just
right.
human shit. Just humans just seeking new shit. Just wanting. We dominated, and then we just like that's not enough.
Yeah.
We colonized it,
It'll
and we
never
still
be
want more. And that's the problem. I feel like our wiring from that through 200 years ago, maybe hundreds of years ago, is still here because we know from science. Maybe it's from what we know so far, because science changes a lot, right? From what we know so far, scientific biological evolution takes a long time.
Right.
Like what you need right now will only be developed like DNA and
And then
biologically hundreds of thousands of years later. So,
But then
right
there's
now-
also like new theories like morphic resonance, which says literally you only need one, and then boom, exponential growth. You only need one to exist, and then from there you can unlimited.
fucking the planet or universe remembers
And
it.
our viewers might not know, like, bro, you can't. Morphic resonance is kind of hard to explain, but I'll give you an example, a human example.
It's like deep, like
It's
deep,
deep,
shit.
yeah. So in the I think it was 1960s,
Deep web
1964, no human, like humans thought it was impossible to run a 4-minute mile. Roger Bannister did it under 4 minutes. Before that, nobody could do it under 4 minutes. And then guess what? Guess what? Yeah, next year everybody was running 4 minutes, under 4 minutes. So like you really only need one event to tell you it's possible, and then from there, it just flies.
Because to me, the definition of impossible has changed over the past year. To me, impossible just means it hasn't been done yet. Nigga, we did not think a nigga could fucking fly a rocket up the air and then land that fucking rocket and then use it 3 more times. Like reading Elon Musk's biography, no one encouraged him to do that. Not a single person believed that he could do it. I don't think even him thought it was possible. Because when you see, they have a video showing his reaction once the Falcon Heavy lift off. He was like, "Holy shit, that damn thing took off." And in an interview, when he talks about it, he's like, "In my head, I'm going through a checklist of all of the things that could go wrong as the thing's going off." So, oh shit, it didn't explode. Oh shit, it, like that thing, like all the technical engineer shit. Oh shit, that worked. Oh shit, that worked. Oh shit, that didn't go to shit. Oh damn, it's actually like up. Oh shit, it's landing. So, like, bro, like just because you've never seen it done, like it never means like that it can't be done.
And that says something about, I mean.
And once it's done, it's like open market.
Yeah, and like in our own
everyone should do it.
It's like, do we need to stop this progress, or not stop, but do we need to alter it, or are we able to adapt?
I think we need to speed up if we're gonna, because I don't think it's
speed up what.
Yuval says it in Sapiens, where like agriculture evolution. By the time they realized what was going on and they started thinking about it, it was too late. Because by then, if you want to go back, most of them will starve to death and they probably go extinct. So then you're stuck. It's a trap. And we're at the same point with the scientific revolution and industrial revolution. It's too late. We're already like embedded. Capitalism is already embedded. So what we have to do is either figure out what the next thing is going to be, which that's hard because predicting the future is, we did not predict the internet, but it's what's running shit right now. We predicted a war for the 2000s. We predicted the 2000s to be fucking the end of the world, but instead we got the internet and social media and VR. Now we're just okay. So it's either that you try to figure out what the next thing is going to be and maneuver within that, or you speed up. And I think what I believe and what I've been thinking about constantly is how the fuck do we speed up? And it's very simple. It's just evolve yourself.
Speed up technology or speed up?
No, speed up ourselves, because technology is way past us by now. Like it's going so we don't even understand how fast it's going.
I think it's slowed down. I think we both mean the same thing, but my language, it's slow down. For you, it's speed up.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Right.
Speed up as in like catch up to it, but slow down you mean just slow down, just.
Right, just slow down.
Just take
our
a
minds.
step back.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean too. And gain control, because I feel like we're gonna become a product of the machine, and we cannot become a product of the machine because we made the machine. Because then we lost. Yeah. And that's what he's saying. He's saying like, if we I feel like we're on the brink of creating a new species, and I think that's what Homo Deus is about. Homo Deus is like what comes after Homo sapiens, and maybe that's what he means, because sapiens and then Homo Deus, it just makes sense. And Deus, I think Deus means God. So, bro, we're at the brink of being able to control our biology. We're at the brink of being able to control what we want, our desires. Does bro, life even like have meaning?
Wait, stop right there. Like you're saying that we are able to control our biology.
We're getting to the point where we can. Medicine is becoming near perfect.
I'm saying that we already have had the power to do that. But 2,000, like endogenously.
Nigga, you know what I mean. People don't want to die.
Yeah. Right.
Humans, we don't want to die. And we're governing all our actions based off our fear of death. Like, we don't want to deal with that. But that's the only thing that gives life. What happens once you're immortal, bro? Immortal. Immortal is more possible than immortal. I think immortal is way far like ahead of us. Immortal is just, you can't die off a natural death. You could get ran over by a car. Okay. You could die in an earthquake, whatever. But if none of that's happening, you're here forever. Every disease you get will be cured. Once they cure cancer, it's over. like life expectancy is gonna rock because cancer kills a lot of niggas.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just I don't know how to feel about that because a lot of people are optimistic about it, but man, like once we get it's just power. We're just gaining more power, and we keep going for it. But
The problem,
it's not
like,
correlating
that's
with
great.
any happiness.
It's great that you're like stopping disease and all that, but the biggest problem is that you're outsourcing it. You don't have you're not building the capability within yourself to do it yourself.
You're just making it, and then you're feeling good about the fact that you created it, but then you're not thinking of how to use it wisely. You're letting greed and all of those negative like desires get in your way. This is what's going on. Is just at a certain point it's gonna be cool, right? There's gonna be like the internet. It's great. It's one of the greatest inventions. Like it's gonna be a while before something else matches something of such a big altitude. It's like, bro, we can connect with anyone on like if they have the same thing instantaneously. But with that came a lot of things like dependency, where people only live on the internet now, where they can't even enjoy the outside world. They can't they use it to cope. They use it to distract themselves. They use it to stay away from accomplishing anything. They're just using it just to fill themselves with dopamine, just constant like. Yeah, what's up? No. Yeah.
Do you believe that we already have the cure to cancer and that they're just like not bringing it out?
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't want to jump to that conclusion, but if it was the case,
I feel like there's more than one cure to cancer.
yeah,
I mean,
like AIDS, bro. Like, how do you not have a cure to AIDS already? Exactly, you know.
No, like it's actually like what's his face? Who's that famous basketball player with the AIDS?
Magic Johnson.
Thank you. Yeah, he got
Yeah, he's been
cured.
alive for way too long. For someone who has AIDS.
He's been cured. Like they've already done. Like
Oh,
there
wow.
is a technical,
Lit.
there's a literal cure to cancer.
It's probably Magic Johnson money though to cure
Oh
it.
no, but that's not saying Magic Johnson. But I'm saying like, do you believe that there's already a cure to cancer, but because they kind of want to manipulate natural selection, they're like, nah, we're already overpopulated as it is. Y'all got cancer. Fuck it. Y'all can.
I guess
100%.
that's an issue too.
100%.
There's a lot of ethical and like I feel like very hard discussions
Because
to have.
all those people at the top of the pyramid are playing God. Like
Yeah, they're
exactly.
fucking puppet masters. They're the puppet master. They've figured out how humans work and they're just using
And
that.
because
Marketing,
and
bro.
because us at the bottom have outsourced everything to them, to technology, we don't have that. We don't have anything. Like we can't do anything, man, unless, bro, like starting the spiritual revolution. That's our only hope.
Oh man. Yeah. Basically they've managed to, just like your parents can make you believe things and you can go about life until you're 19 and realizing that everything you've been told is not everything that there is about everything. Going through that, it's the same thing going on, but with everything. With where
On a
you
way
work, the
bigger
school, religion, everything. You're just told to believe this, to go about life this way, and to not ask questions.
How do you reverse it in actionable steps?
I think you need to realize the problem. To solve the problem, you first need to realize it and acknowledge that there's a problem. The main thing with people who are addicted to their phones or social media or internet or drugs or anything is the biggest problem is denial. Once they admit it, it's like then you can move on. It's a step. It's an objective step that you cannot skip. You can't try to quit something if you don't acknowledge the fact that you need to quit it in the first place, right? So, that's the first thing. Everyone just needs to understand that. But once you have that too, there's also the actions, right? Because the thing is, they figured out biology, and every social media application and the internet and shopping,
It's engineered to.
It's
to
all
keep
engineered to fuck with your body, to use your biology to get you to spend that money, to get you to
spend more time on the app.
Yeah, for them to use you and spend more time and make their money because they're running ads and it's a business, right? So as useful as it is, they still have to make money, and sometimes niggas get greedy. They want more power. I was thinking about that this morning about Scarface because I was thinking about what to talk about today. And it's funny because Scarface, you realize he was a nobody and then worked his way up to becoming like the big drug kingpin, but the entire time he's stressed, miserable.
Yeah.
He has to watch his back. His like the shorty he was with was like constant.
He had to kill his best friend, right?
Yeah, he killed his best friend. Like it's like you're getting all of this money and power and status, but you're still stressed all the time. You're like, I don't see the nigga smile the entire movie or laugh or just he never looks like he's having a good time. He never looks like he's actually enjoying what's going on. It's just power. And that's the thing. Like niggas, when I see niggas flex their money, like on music videos or Instagram and all that shit, when they're doing the whole thing, niggas forget it's just a piece of paper, right?
Yeah.
Like niggas forget that. And it's such a primitive thing to do because the whole concept of flexing your status is just to show that you're an alpha male. So that
mate with me.
Yeah, mate with me. It's basically that. It's just like the peacock flaring its fucking tail. That's all it is. That's all they're doing. They don't realize they're just being animals.
It's so funny.
There's just a mating call. That's all it is. Look at me, I have status. And that's all that is. Like, it's all imaginary. That is just a piece of paper, my nigga.
Yeah.
Like, the universe, the planet doesn't care. It can still kill you right now. Just because you're fucking a billionaire or you have one hit song and you're taking fucking private jets, like, you can still die, like, right now. And that money will not matter. Except to maybe whoever you leave it behind to until... Do you think we're ever going to replace money? Do you think we're ever going to get to a certain point? Bitcoin, I guess, was
replace money, but not currency. Like,
Yeah,
not
of course.
not like...
I mean,
yeah.
that's what's allowed us to thrive so much.
Yeah.
But
So we can't get rid of it.
bro. The whole thing when he said it had not, all this power we gained and the happiness levels didn't change, and it's like, what the fuck is the point of all of that then?
We might as well still be hunting, you know?
What's the point of all of this, acquiring all this power and figuring out all of these things if you're still at the same point from before you discovered all of these things?
Yeah, literally, like, that just goes to show that, like, one is not better than two.
It's all numbers. It's just numbers. It's all like it's all it is. You try to be number one. Like, what does it bring you? Like, what does it bring you? You're gonna be number one. You're gonna try to. Then you lose purpose.
Right. The race is over. What now?
Then it's like, oh, how do I be number 0? How do I be number better than 1? And then it's like you die. You're on your deathbed, and you're like, shit. It never really mattered. What's the point in life? Dude? I don't want to be nihilistic, you know. I don't want to be like, there's no point to all of this, because I do like. Because I don't know, I do feel happy when I'm making shit.
Yeah.
But I do know that once I'm done making shit, I'm going to want to make shit again.
Yeah, more shit.
So.
Oh my God, bro.
Should I just be content with making shit? Because niggas make shit with an objective. I want to be famous. I want to get the status. Me, it's more, I guess the reason why I want more money is just to have more resources to make bigger shit on a bigger scale.
Or to help people.
Or just help to be productive, right? The Tim Ferriss with Derek Sivers podcast, right? You get money.
Be useful.
Yeah, just be useful. But, yeah, just be useful. Yeah. We need to figure out, we figured out happiness.
That's so
just
crazy. Wait,
happiness.
What is your end goal with Dojo or just your artistic endeavors?
I think I'm focused a lot on, I've made a switch recently. I'm focused a lot on legacy, on just leaving something behind that'll last way longer than I do.
Right.
But mainly just on the individual side, it's just an outlet. It's just the only thing that, like I'm at peace when I do it. And when I'm not doing it, I'm not at peace. Like, I feel like I should be doing it when I'm not doing it. It's literally like Steven Pressfield broke it down perfectly well. Like, if I'm not creating, I'm dying. And creating to me is the only point where I feel it, like, immortal. And that's why I think immortality shouldn't be chased on the literal side. It should be chased on what are you gonna leave behind. Because energy doesn't get destroyed, it just transfers, right? So just put out as much energy as you can and it'll never disappear. Because it'll just keep transferring. People will pick it up and then Britain out in their own ways. But it's like, perfect example, since Tyler dropped Igor, it's like, he's a fan of Pharrell. Pharrell put out the Pharrell energy. Tyler picked it up and it resonated with him. And now he's putting Pharrell energy out still, but in a Tyler way.
Yeah. And
now it's Tyler energy, but you can still feel the Pharrell in it. And I'm picking up Tyler energy now. And then I'm gonna put out Gio energy, but with Tyler in it, and Kanye in it, and Frank in it, and all of my influences. They're gonna stay alive through me. And I guess that's what I think about a lot. To me, that's the immortality I'm chasing. I think that's the immortality people should chase. You shouldn't do anything, but to me, personally, from a subjective point of view, it's like, that's what you should chase. It's not necessarily about...
fame, power, money.
Well, of course, It's nice. It feels good. It probably does.
Resource.
But it probably money brings happiness until you reach 100K a year. That's the scientific findings. There's a certain point where it brings up your happiness levels, but there's a cap.
And once you get to that cap,
There's no correlation whatsoever. Almost. It just becomes like a flat line. So sorry?
That's some bullshit.
It's not.
It's clearly not.
How?
There's research on it, isn't it?
Like,
okay, but there's research on literally everything that could just say that that's wrong.
well, the thing is,
let's look at it practically because
let's look at it from just
$1,000 or $100,000. That's it. That's the cap.
have you ever made $100,000 a year yet?
Don't even make like $20,000.
Exactly. So you can't actually jump to that conclusion. I'm not jumping to the conclusion. I'm just saying what the findings have said. I don't say everyone's different. So some people probably happiness levels will keep going up the more their money levels go up, but past 100,000. But it makes sense because
what are you doing with that? Like, what can you do with that money?
But
because
the point. The more money you get, the more experiences that you can now unlock. You can't.
Yes.
Yeah, but $100,000 can.
$1 million.
I think 100,000. Listen, all you need is already. Not only do you already have what you need, but since we're living a capitalistic like society, you still need to have money to be able to afford things, right? So a house, the
Car,
Maslow's hierarchy,
food.
right? There's a certain point where once those things are super comfortable, you're chilling and you don't necessarily need more.
There's a difference between living comfortably. I understand that, but I'm saying like in the sense that we're talking about happiness levels, I think that there's one thing. There are two separate things. Living comfortably is like being able to provide whilst still having enough money just in case. Having a house, being able to provide for your kids and wife or whatever your life, plan is. And then there's excelling in happiness, which is like the more experiences that you can get out of life, the more things that you can buy, the more things that you can see, witness, feel, touch, eat. That's when I think $100,000 cap is unrealistic.
I don't believe.
Kendall, what's Kylie worth $1 billion? Shorty has to be excited. Has to be living the best life.
Yeah, but you don't live with Kylie. You don't know Kylie. You're only seeing what
because
Kylie's
money
showing
can
you.
only buy so much.
Kylie is running a business. Because don't get it twisted. Kylie's Instagram feed is part of her business. That's the marketing.
I'm not saying
That's the
she-
face.
I'm not saying-
No, but the reason why you
using her
think
as an
she's
example.
excited is because she has the money, and that's what I'm telling you. I was gonna say when you brought up the question. First of all, you need to ask yourself, what does money mean to you? First of all, how do you view money? Because I think a lot of people will think money will bring them happiness depending on what they think, the way they think about money.
Okay, well then, what do you think about money? How do you feel about money?
We've just been saying
It's a
this.
resource.
It's a resource. It's imaginary.
It's a resource that you can use.
You can
for
only
the
have
betterment
so
of
much,
you,
right?
For your society, for
Your
just your
the
experiences.
community to be useful.
And once it gets to a certain point, you can't really do more with it.
I'm not saying it does. You don't like. She's probably having a lot of fun. She could do whatever the fuck she wants. She could buy this building.
No, right.
No. Of course, disagreement is great. She could buy this building and tear it down if she wants. She could buy this whole campus and fucking destroy it if she wants and shut it down. But listen, but like we've been saying, it's a treadmill. Your brain is gonna reward you for it no matter what. No matter what point you're at. Of course, probably at a certain point you probably get desensitized to the whole thing. The more you have it, right?
It's like you
Like
can
with
buy this
drugs.
building, but the building's going to be empty.
It's like with drugs, right? It's like your tolerance builds up over time. The more you take, you need a higher dosage. So you need to spend way crazier monies to feel the same thing. And that's what I mean. It's like you're always gonna get the satisfaction out of one, knowing you have the money, and two, knowing like just buying things. But you're gonna want to buy things again, and that's why it doesn't bring you happiness, because if you need to do it again to feel the same way, you're not happy. Happy is not something that you feel. Well, that's the paradox, right? Happiness is just another emotion, and when you meditate, you realize that emotions just come and go.
Right.
And the only way to become peaceful is to just not attach to any emotion, both not see them as good or bad. The reason why people are so miserable and suffer is because when a negative emotion, a quote unquote negative emotion arise, we resist it. And resisting it
Version.
yeah, and resisting it is what brings the suffering. And if you just let it be and you just observe it, maybe learn from it by questioning why it's there, and maybe that could tell you something about yourself. Once you question that, and then you realize, okay, am I rational for feeling this? Is this a proper emotion? Should I act on it? Is it wise to act on it? Which is very hard to do, by the way. Is it wise to act on it? Is it not? Because that's all I'm saying here is like a 2-second window. That probably gets bigger. In the moment.
As just thoughts.
Yeah, right. In the moment. And it gets bigger the better you are, the sharper your mind is, as we've already said, I think in episode 8, the meditation one. You have 2-3 seconds, depending on the situation, to figure out if this is worth like acting on. And it should be like this with all emotions, negative or positive. Just because you're angry doesn't mean you have to do anything about it. Just because it tells you, that's just your ego telling you. Just like your ego can tell you.
Affirm that I exist.
Yeah, like it feels good once you like let it out, but it's also like it'll come back, you know? Like you're rude to that person, but they're gonna come back and be rude to you, and it's gonna turn this cycle. It's the negative feedback loop of just fucking cycling. That's why racism still exists. That's why the whole racist conversation still exists. It's just cycling. It's all cycling. It's all, you did this to us. You need to suffer this too. We're resentful, which, I mean, it makes sense, right? It's like, it doesn't feel fair.
It's rational, but it's not the solution.
It doesn't feel fair. Like, you know, like we went through.
What would be the solution?
Let go.
Love. Let it go.
Let it go. Which is completely hard. I
and
feel
no one's like
anyone.
It's so hard to listen to.
Anyone I've told that, specifically Black people, of course. Anyone I've told that, at the point of like having that conversations, they've always reacted like, the fuck do you mean let it go?
Yeah.
Like with that hipster shit. Like it's like, but I see it that way. Let's say you go through this shit, and then you want them to go through that shit, and then they go through that shit for hundreds of years, and then they're dead. The ones who went through that shit, but they taught their kids about it.
Yeah.
So now their kids have that imagined
it's
thing.
It's boiling in their kids.
Do you not think that there's like
it's wired into them.
modern day racism? Or like
Yes, and what I mean, I said it still exists, but that's because we're keeping it alive. We're still making it a thing.
Define we.
Everyone. Well, specifically in the West. Well, from what I know, from my point of view in Canada, States, what I can see online and offline, from my point of view, we're keeping it alive by just
perpetuate, like
constantly bringing it back up and making it a thing.
Like, look what you did to me. Look at this scar.
Yeah, look at this. Look at what you did to me. You need to know this. You need to know this. You need to know this. You need to feel bad.
Pain.
You need to feel bad for some shit that your ancestors, fucking 4 grandparents down, did that you don't have nothing to do with because you weren't born
and those
in
people
it.
have.
I don't think that people really cling on to. Well, I mean, they do cling on to. Like, for example, when Black people talk about slavery or something like that. But I'm saying, if you're gonna bring up United States and what is happening right now with like the Trump administration, shit like that, the neo-Nazi movements that are
Press it again.
Thanks.
Neo-Nazis?
Yeah, sorry, like the neo-Nazi movements that are prevalent within the south of the United States, a lot of, transphobia that's happening throughout, well, transphobia isn't really a race, but you know what I mean, like there's like a lot of bigotry that's happening. You guys don't think that a lot of, though it is fueled from like historical events, don't you think that like the reason why it's still spoken about is because shit that's happening today is still so prevalent?
But do you understand that the shit that's happening today is because we're keeping
the
it
only
alive?
door.
I mean on both sides, on all sides of everyone doing it. Both white people, like racism still exists. White people are still racist towards black people. Black people are still racist towards white people. That's a thing. And some black people are still racist towards Arabs. Arabs are still racist. Chinese are still racist towards blah 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 blah. First, it's tribalism, us versus them mentality. Right. But it's also like the white people were taught it by their grandparents, who taught it to their parents, who taught it to them. So they're born with it because of people who held on to it. And it is going to keep going the more you keep teaching it down generations.
They weren't born with it. They were taught it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. They're born with it, as in like you're in a household of people who believe in that. They're teaching you that religion. They're teaching you that belief. They're passing down what they believe in. So as you go on, you're told black people are inferior. Let's say you're white, you're told black people are inferior. Black people used to be slaves. That's what they're always going to be. They're animals, blah, 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 blah. You're a kid, so you're sucking in everything. And then you believe that as you go on in your life. And you go on acting that way. You're discriminating against blah, 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 blah. But the reason why they'll keep going is because you keep going that way and you never learn
You're
throughout your entire
reciprocating the
life.
exact same energy.
Exactly.
back.
You're keeping it alive. You're passing, just like I'm passing down Tyler energy, Kanye energy. You're passing down racist, all black people are weak energy, right? You're like,
Right.
you're.
I'll give you a soccer example. So let's say, okay, person one makes a 50-yard pass to person two. How hard does he have to hit it to make that pass go 50 yards?
I don't know physics, so I'm assuming
Anyways, 50 yards, very, very hard, or hard enough,
I
right?
don't know. It's common sense.
If
You have to
the,
hit
if the
it
guy
hard.
wants to kill the ball, to neutralize the ball, what does he have to do? He has to receive it with love. But if he doesn't receive it with love,
Yeah,
if he
pushes
pushes it back with anger,
bounce back really hard.
it's going to bounce back really hard. There's not going to be any control of it.
Yeah.
But I feel like the reason why people are so up in arms, and I really hate to make this a really big race topic, but I'm saying like
No, it's okay.
the reason why I think people are still trying to make it into a discussion, I think that the narrative has switched between white people were once slave owners, you guys have to feel the way that we felt. I think it's more so like, because there's still modern day slavery. In Libya right now, there's one of the largest slave trades happening. There are literally like the hangars just full
Yeah.
with black people that they've shipped.
We're not saying it doesn't exist.
I understand. I'm saying though the reason why it's still such a prevalent conversation is not necessarily because people are still
Right. But
clinging on
we're
to
we're
things.
saying that the solution isn't to hit back.
It's to.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. That's what we're saying. We're not
But
saying.
the thing is you guys are saying you should let it go. I think that.
Yes,
the
you
more
should.
but
You should. You should
hold on.
discuss it with the intention
That's
of
what I'm
coming to a
saying.
conclusion.
It's not necessarily let it go, being like brush it off. I think that
Right.
the better way to the better solution to try and attack it would be to have
Reach
a
common
discussion.
ground.
Not common ground either, because you also have to understand that.
Right, you're right.
When you try to
Yeah.
discuss.
You
and
can't- you
when
can't
argue
come-
with a
right.
fool, you're literally gonna hit a dry wall. Like it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna work.
Exactly. And that's what I mean.
Than to brush off or like to let it go.
But I'm not saying this to every single person who talks about it. Of course, there's a person who's trying to end it all and wants it to stop being a thing. But I'm saying like the people who don't even want to have a conversation, the
Yeah.
people who are literally just like, they're angry,
mad
they're
at people.
clearly angry, and they're just
Like it
wanting
gets
to
to the
hit.
it
They're
gets
wanting
it gets
to
to
hit
the
back.
it even gets to the point where they display racism back to white people, but it's like, no, black people can't be racist. What are you talking about?
It's a lot of discrimination. It's a lot of now. I mean, fucking workplaces are doing it to look like diverse
Right.
for diversity, right? Let's not hire this white person.
It's not
because
even organic.
It'll
It's
look,
like-
it'll be bad PR.
it just looks good on
us.
paper.
Yeah, it'll be bad PR on us because there's too many there's too many white people right now. That person is fully qualified, but let's not give them the job because we want to look good and have good PR. So let's fucking deprive them that money and get someone else because of their color. It's like we're still making the
I don't
color
think
a thing.
that's the narrative either.
I think that's
more so it's not-
fully
Oh,
a
No, no,
thing.
no,
it's-
I
it
don't-
exists.
I don't think that
Fully
it's
a
like,
thing.
I don't think that it's like let's place
At Google?
gold on this white person. I think it's because we want to make our roster look colorful. It's not so much as let's not hire the white person. It's let's hire the colored people.
Which is let's not hire
That
the
doesn't
white
help.
person.
That doesn't help
I'm
because
not saying that it's helpful. I'm just
Right.
saying that I don't think it's necessarily trying to target the white person. Now it's trying.
Oh,
to
it's not
use,
nec- even if it's
the
not targeting
black
the white
love or
person.
the person of color type of love.
Even if
and,
it's not the white person, it's still the white person being ignored because they want
Right.
to look focused more on colored people. They're still looking at color more than qualifications.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. I'm not
That's
saying
like
that
it's still
wrong.
that's still
Silly.
shit, you know. The thing is, the fight starts once you hit back, but not hitting back is very hard.
right.
You know,
course.
especially if you're in public, which is race like slavery, like that's public. Like niggas, everyone knows this. That shit, terrible fucking shit happened. So fucked up, by the way. Like reading about it in Sapiens. Holy shit! Like around 40 million people. Like just they ran out of natives, killed 90% of the population, but they still had shit to still extract. So they said, let's bring in
They
those
literally
fucking-
crossed a sea, an ocean.
Let's import these niggas. Like they imported niggas, bro.
So silly, bro. It's like
But the thing is, I keep telling this to people. I wanna bring niggas over and have conversation. I feel like it would be more interesting to have the opposite side.
yeah.
Because my theory is that it's more about power. It's always been more about power than race. We just made it about race. Eventually, we just
at the root of it, it's tribalism.
Yeah, it is. It's just power. It's just let's figure out. It started out as like conquest for territories to prepare for wars. They just wanted to get a better understanding of to make better maps and get new territories and understand them so they can know how to like strategize for wars. And they just when they would come on, they would just find people there. And those people don't know anything about what's going on over there. They think everywhere, like they think where they are is everything that there is. So they see all those weird people that smell bad, and they're like, okay, who are those? And then those people come in like, take me to your leader. We come in peace. And then when they find a leader, they kill that nigga or they imprison him, and then they destroy 90% of the population. Either they kill them, or they try to get them to adapt their culture, and if they resist, they kill them, or they just use them to their own benefits. And when they ran out, they just imported. But it's not necessarily a let's go find all the blacks. Let's go find all the natives and kill them. It's more let's go find these territories. Oh, these people are here. They don't know about everything that's going on. That's an opportunity to find new land. And that's a human thing. It's not a white people thing. It's a human thing. We're just viruses. Like before Homo sapiens became the most powerful ones, when we would find new lands as Homo sapiens, not as Europeans, all the large animals in that place will go extinct. That's just what we do. That's just what we do. We just come on and we just take over and act like it was ours since the beginning. Just as a species, we would do that to other species. We still do it to other species, nigga.
Do it to ourselves.
We do like slavery for animals is like a thing. Yeah. Like we're raising cows, taking them away from their fucking moms and parents or whatever, and then we're keeping them in a little box where they can't even walk, and they just stand there and they get enough food to survive, and eventually we just chop them, and then eat them or use them for their milk or like whatever. It's like that's just a thing we do. We just ruin shit. For power, just chase power. Yeah, what's up?
Oh, I was just saying.
I thought you were raising your hand.
That was earlier, but I was gonna say, I don't know why it just popped into my head, but when you said that like you can be racist to white people, do you mean that like on an individual level, or do you mean because I feel like when people tie the word racism, they automatically
systematic.
Are talking about, systematic or institutional. Do you think that white people can experience institutional racism? Not just like I don't like you because you're white, because that's like the discriminatory part that like
social media.
Yes, because it's counter racism, right? My
belief is that social media has given black people a lot of power, just people in general a lot of power, because now companies are losing big money from just mess ups, and that wasn't a thing before. So they have a voice, they have power, like they've. And I know this. It's a great thing because now you can feel empowered in a sort of way. But I think people who are dealing with a lot of resentment and hate and just have a lot of hate in their hearts are kind of using that in their own event. I don't think it's necessarily a thing where they could be systematically racist to black people because
I'm saying, do you think that
to white people, black people can be systematically racist to white people because
white people
objectively speaking, this shit was built by white people. So it was probably built.
Well, I'd say it is systematic just because it's like, just because the other side of it is we're systematically oppressed, right? In quotes.
Yeah.
So by default, he did this to me. So automatically, the system says he's the enemy.
Yeah.
Right. So that would be
systematically, as in like.
Wait,
I think.
You say quote, are you saying that like you don't think that you as a person of color?
No, he thinks it's systematic. I see what you're saying, but I think she's more saying like society is built from oppressing non-white people, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, that's how America was built, right?
Exactly.
Slavery.
And they're saying basically a lot of people. I think it's just a tactic they use because they just switch definitions to their own liking sometimes, which is so annoying. And they usually do that when they're losing arguments.
Only do that.
They'll change the definition and the rules of the game. I think racism is just racism. What's sexism? It's discrimination against a sex. What's racism is discrimination against a race. How it's done, you can't just change
it's just different categories
you can't just
of tribalism.
add new shit to the definition to please yourself. it's racism is just discrimination fueled by ignorance towards another race.
Right,
Because
it's
you
just-
see them as different than you.
It's just a different. It's categorizing tribalism because black people can still hate black people. Asian people can still hate Asian people.
Yeah, there's
right?
some black people who are racist towards black people.
Because if you get rid of all white people, all other colored people, and it's just one race left,
It'll still
there's
exist.
still going to be tribalism.
It's
It's
still
just
gonna
not going to be called racism.
It's a human thing. That's what
Yeah.
I'm telling nigga, bro. It's a human thing. It's not a specific to those people kind of thing. Black people do it to themselves with gangs, blues and reds. But fucking Asians do it with fucking Chinese and Japanese, North Korea, South Korea. Fucking, it's just we just do that. It's just a human thing. It's not a fucking white people or pure evil. They're not evil. The society that everyone is fucking enjoying right now is built by them. They've done good shit. They've done bad shit. Just like humans did in general. Humans have annihilated most of the other species on the fucking planet, but they've managed to build this huge fucking planet, powerful. Now they're going to other planets and shit, assuming we're the only ones doing that in the universe, which I doubt is the case. But from our knowledge of the galaxy, of the solar system, let's keep the scale small. We're the only ones doing that shit.
Small.
We're the only ones doing that shit. But from doing that, it's like everything it's all dual. It's like all duality. From the good shit comes the bad shit. From the internet, which allows you to communicate with everyone, came your inability to have self-control over using it. And people using your biology to get you to stay on it all the time for profit. Social media came people having lower self-esteem, being more depressed. But it's one of the greatest inventions because everyone's so connected and they can talk to their friends now. But it's like, dude, it's like, duh, like stop focusing too much on one side. Just like, it's not all shitty. Because the shittiness exists because the goodness exists. And you can't have the shittiness without the goodness. Good emotions would not be good emotions if bad emotions did not exist.
It's not necessarily contradictory, it's complementary.
Exactly. It's all both. Everything is just both sides of the same coin. Stop attaching yourself to one side because all that brings you is suffering. On that note, thank you for listening.
Peace!
That was a performance.
How much time is it?
That was slam poetry.
It's like an hour and a half, bro.
That was hour-long slam poetry.
Stop being a part of these. Every time I'm a part of these.
Nah, yo.
No, you're adding.
Yeah, you added to it.
You're adding to it. Like you're adding so much because I think no one should stay around people who agree with them all the time because that just stops growth. Because you need a different perspective. You need someone around you. That's what a healthy relationship is between friends, partners, or whatever. You need someone who has a different perspective than you do. If you don't, you're not learning anything. So to have someone around you constantly, to have someone always going, yeah, that's right, that kills the conversation pretty easily. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, bro, that's so true, bro. Yeah, bro, yeah, so true. But to have someone who goes, I disagree, and then you're like, oh, why?
Let's build.
Let's have a conversation. let's build, Don't kick me up, bitch ass nigga. Anyways, we're done for
what
today.
We didn't even. Yeah,
We're-
we didn't even talk about what we wanted to.
We're gonna. I think we're not even ready to talk about that yet. I think we should talk about it offline and then come on and
Right.
structure it. I want it to be structured. I want it to actually be a thing
okay.
that we're gonna
To start
phase
to figure
out.
out
We're gonna
evolution.
test it out. We're gonna make sure it's foolproof. Some niggas have probably figured it out. Paul Check is
Yeah,
definitely
definitely. Yeah.
on the sixth
Bro,
dimension.
He's been teaching other people for decades.
Paul
this
Check
shit.
is just visiting from
And-
different
and,
realities.
For our viewers who may not know who he is, we'll add it in the description below. But his podcast is Living 4D with Paul Check.
Oh yeah, we make a lot of references. So this is gonna be a bitch editing this because it's like an hour and a half almost. Whatever. Thank you for listening, guys. Thank you to Allah for helping us with videography.
Give us money too.
Go check out Seam Reaper's new drop. Go check out my new
Seam
song.
Reaper, www. World Wide Web. Fuck. Wait.
No,
let me
the
read
new
World
Dojo
Wide Web
nigga. shut up.
dot Seam Reaper
New-
dot space.
New dojo coming out soon. New Seam Reaper out now. New song out now. New Cassius Heights coming in August. That was an intense conversation. Oh shit, it just clipped. I'm sorry. That was an intense conversation. I hope someone will disagree with this because I want you to come on the podcast. I keep it. I like to bring up controversial shit because I want people to come on because if it's just me and Akers, we're gonna run out of shit to talk about.
Because we agree mostly.
Yeah, we agree on most things because most things are so simple, and we both know that most things are so simple. So it's hard to disagree because we know it's all paradoxes, anyways. So we'll always go back. We'll always end up where we started.
We'll get too metaphysical on that.
Yeah. Thank you. Please. Oh my God, if you disagree and you think I'm a piece of shit, come here and tell me why. Bye. Give
the earth money.
Oh shit.